welcome back. Thanks for joining me today here in the Bourbon Bar. Again, my name's Carlos, and today we're going to be reviewing Michters US-1 Sour Mash Whiskey. It's something I'm a big fan of and very familiar with. It's actually probably one of the first Michters products that I started drinking with some regularity. The smoothness, the sweetness, the complexity, the overall mouthfeel, the price, and the availability is something that drove me to really get into buying their products. This is a $45 MSRP bottle, give or take. I've seen it anywhere from $44 to $55. So honestly, if you're under $50, it's a win. It's really, really great stuff. It is a no age statement product, and it is 86 proof. I want to mention some of the benefits, or I guess some of the boundaries of what it means to be a sour mash. A sour mash is a whiskey where you save some of the fermented mash from a previous whiskey's batch, and then you roll it into the next round of fermentation for whiskey. And some of the advantages of that are going to be obvious cost. Instead of having to bring in and then ferment new grains, you have to bring in new corn, new rye, new barley. Instead of having to do that, you just roll over some of the previous mash. Then you either add a little more or whatever. Either ways, you're bringing some previously used item that you already paid for, reducing costs of production, and it also makes the drink a little better. And by that, it'll add a little flavor complexity, a little sweetness, and it'll just help advance some of the flavor profiles and help it reach, I don't want to say help advance, or like with aging, you can't really make up for aging. Age is age, and it takes time to make something really nice, but it does help bring some of those nicer tasting notes and complexities into the whiskey a little sooner. So, and this is not a bourbon, it is a whiskey, and I believe that is, with this bottle specifically, just because it's not 51% corn. There's a good amount of rye and a good amount of barley in it as well. So, for example, if those are each 30-30, then you're only left with 40% for corn. So, yeah, not a true bourbon, but a really, really awesome whiskey there. So let me just grab my Glencairn here and get to wafting and starting, and see what we can pull. Got a really, really nice, rich golden color. It's more of a copper, to be honest. So let's swirl it and see what kind of legs we get, and then I'll go in for a nose. I'm a big fan of all Michters products, to be honest. Their US-1 whiskey, rye, bourbon, and sour mash are a standard, and some people say the Old Forester Whiskey Row is like the standard of whiskey, and I think this is my standard of whiskey, just because I like the complexities and flavors. None of them are barrel proof like the Whiskey Row. It has the 115 proof one, but oh well, it doesn't matter. I mean, for low proofers, they're just high quality, great tasting, and really, really hang with some of the best in their categories of whiskey. They're building really slow and heavy. I do really like the way the legs are developing, turning into some nice pillars there. And in the nose, ooh, sweet caramel, fresh cut apple, a little vanilla, a little cinnamon and nutmeg. Overall, just a really pleasant and sweet nose. Not super sweet where you think it's going to be like cheap sweet whiskey, but pleasantly sweet, like a sweet vanilla, like a sweet cinnamon, a sweet nutmeg. The fresh cut apple, you get some of the sugars as long as some of the, crisp, acidity from the skin, but sweet caramel, just really, really nice. Really nice, great weight, not super heavy, but a nice viscosity there. It's like sweet butterscotch. And now I'm getting into some of the finish where it goes like rye spice and dry, and still kind of fighting off the sweet. Let me get back into the palate really quick, that's really nice. Butterscotch, caramel, toffee, silky. So a little bit of like raspberry and cinnamon oak on the back end, where you get like acidic red fruit, cinnamon spice right before you get some of that oaky wood finish. I'd be curious to know what kind of char the barrel of this sits in. Also, again, no age statement, but I'm curious to that as well. Michters does a good job of not rushing out their products. All of their products are either a small batch or single barrel. So, I mean, nothing's rushed out with them, I guess is what my point is by saying that. That's so great, so smooth. A really experienced whiskey drinker, you're not going to blow their mind with this, but I guarantee you they'll be like, oh wow, this is really nice, if they never had it. As an intro to whiskey, if someone who doesn't drink whiskey very often, especially being low proof, this should be one of those bottles you'd want to try on them to get them hooked, or to just be gentle with them, because it's sweet and complex, but it's not high in proof or hot. As I say that, you know, with the finish, I get some rye spice, and then I get a little like caramely sweetness, and then right as it gets sweet again, there's like a layer of dryness that comes in and starts to tone that down and mellow it out. And right, so it goes from like rye spice sweet to kind of dry and oaky again. But really, really nice overall. I hope I don't overstep by giving this an A- rating. And I mean, I just have 3 credentials that I'm just going forward. I have 3 credentials: availability, pricing, and quality. And quality's to each his own, so everyone else could feel a little differently, but I think this is great quality. Is this a A+ in quality? No, it's probably a B+, but the pricing and availability help elevate that. And any given day on my way home from work, I can pick up a bottle of this for about $50. And I'm cool with that. This is something I might want to, you know, if I'm going to make a cocktail with it, whiskey might not want to be the focal point, because it doesn't have a ton of spice. It's more of a sweet, soft, gentle whiskey. So maybe something like a mint julep, or depending on how you like your old fashions, you know, maybe you just add an extra dash of bitters, and this is the one for you. But I love it neat. Some may like it with an ice cube. I know everyone has a different style of drinking, but just something I thought was fun and I really enjoy. In other words, I'd like to give a cheers to you guys. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to check out the TikTok, the Instagram, and you know, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. See you soon.